to web project for CCTE photography. So again, what we're going to be doing is grabbing a photo and enhancing the composition with an interesting crop. We're going to size the image on the longest side to 1500 pixels and then convert it to sRGB, which is the web's color space. I'm going to do this demo for camera for Adobe Bridge and Photoshop, and then I'm going to show you in Photopea and Pixlr as well for distance learning options. So as you can tell with this photo I got from Kira for Photo of the Week, the dimensions are really big for uploading to a website, so I want to size that down for use on a website. So what I'm going to do first is make a copy of this. So if I right click on it or control click on a PC, hit duplicate, and then it makes a copy of it. So this is the copy I'm going to actually open into Photoshop. So I'm going to double click in Adobe Bridge and I'll open up into Photoshop. So again, with our different tools, you can hover over a tool and then I'll give you a little preview. So the crop tool, we can do a specific ratio, like you want to do 4:5, square crop, or we can do a free crop. So if you don't type in anything here, we can freehand crop this. You can also change the view. So if you click on this little tab here, it's on rule of thirds, you can switch to a grid, a diagonal, where you can line things up on these diagonal points, triangle, on these 2 points, golden ratio, which is a more old technique, and then golden spiral, which ends up on this point. I'm just going to do rule of thirds. It's kind of the easiest to understand for this. You could straighten the horizon, so if you drag it across the horizon line, click on this, and then drag it, and then I'll rotate the file. So I'm just going to hit cancel, and then click on my photo again to show my grid. So I'm just going to make this a kind of more interesting crop. I'm just going to do like a very minimum horizon crop. I'm just going to kind of adjust it so it's a little more closer to what we'd see on a horizontal frame. So again, you're just kind of clicking on the tabs on the corners, top, or sides. Once you have it the way you want, you can click that check or double click on it, and then I'll commit the crop. So next what we want to do is go to image and down to image size, and we want to size the longest side to 1500 pixels. So right now the width is much bigger, so I'm going to, it might default to inches, so just click on this and switch it to pixels. And then whichever is the biggest number in the width or the height, that's the one you're going to switch to 1500. So I'm going to type in 1500 for my width, and then it changes the height with it, and then hit OK. So it sized it down to 1500 pixels. What I'm next going to do is go to Edit, and we're going to convert the colors. So I want to go to Edit, Convert to Profile, and we want our source space to say Adobe RGB, or it could say something else, and then our destination space is the one we want to change. So the default could be this one. I would just select the sRGB, it's about a third down, and then hit OK. And so now it's converting the colors to the web space colors. If you don't convert a color, sometimes you will see shifts in your colors when you upload to the internet. After we've cropped and sized and converted to sRGB, we're just going to go File and Save As. We're just making sure it's the copy, make sure it's saved in the right folder. Make sure it is a JPEG format. You don't want a different format. Sometimes the default on Photoshop is the Photoshop format, so you got to switch it to JPEG. You can see my color profile is sRGB. I'm just going to replace that, and it's going to save it into that location. My quality, I usually do around 9 or 10 for web, and you can kind of see the file size here. So now it's saved it out. I'm just going to close that out and go back to Bridge. So now we have our full size and our saved to web size. So these are the two I'm going to upload to my Flickr album, so that way I can see how big, I can see the change in the crop, and then I can also see the size. So in the metadata, it should say dimensions 1500 and nothing bigger than that, and then sRGB for the color profile. Switching to, I'm actually going to trash that, and then we're going to go to Photopea. So again, go to photopea.com if you're using a web browser to edit your photos. We're just going to go File, Open. I'm going to select Secures Photo again. And then Crop Tool is right here. This one's a little more freehand, so you just kind of click and drag it out, and then you got these little boxes, right? So again, we can do, I'm actually going to do more of a kind of vertical crop on this one. You can also change it to a fixed ratio. So if you want it 1:1, or maybe a, 6:4 crop, which would be kind of a horizontal, and so then it can do a specific ratio. I'm going to go to free again, and then we're just going to do kind of freehand vertical crop. That's pretty good. So again, enhance the composition, hit the little check to crop it. This one you cannot convert to sRGB, it doesn't give that option, but you can either size it where you go to image and then image size. And so again, whatever is the biggest dimension between the two, the width and the height, that's the one we're going to switch. So the height is bigger in this one, I'm going to change that to 1500. And then it changed the width as well. So I'm just going to hit OK. And it sized it down. So you can see our steps here. We opened it, we cropped it to give an interesting composition, and then we sized it down. Lastly, I'm just going to go File, Export as JPEG. Make sure, again, you shouldn't see a size bigger than 1500 here. Otherwise, you can change it in here and actually switch it here. And then I'm going to put my quality at 90%. I'm going to check attach metadata so it saves that when I upload it to Flickr. And then hit save. So then that will download. Mine is set to my desktop. So I'm just going to drag that into the bridge folder. Oops, hold on. Let's just call this like, oh, come on, dude. Just trying to rename it real quick. There we go. Let's call this V2 or crop. That's fine. So then you can see here in the metadata, right, it's 1500 and not bigger. It doesn't save the color profile, which we don't have that option in Photopea, unfortunately. So next I'm going to show is Pixlr. So I'm going to go to pixlr.com/e/. This is their advanced editor. So I'm going to open up that file. So again, I can click Open Image. I'm going to select Kira P1. We're going to do Ultra HD and hit HD and hit Apply. Alright, so what we want to do is hit the crop tool here. They have the little previews. We can do a fixed ratio. We can do a specific size. So we could say, like, I want 1500 by 900 pixels, right? And do a specific crop, and then you can, kind of adjust from there. I'm going to do a freehand like we did in Camera Raw. So let's kind of make this more of like a square kind of crop. And then hit apply. You can't convert colors, but you can size the image. So go to image, image size. So again, right now the width is slightly bigger than the height. So I'm going to select that, switch it to 1500, and it constrains the height with it. So I'm going to hit apply. And it sized it down. Next we're going to do is file save and save it out. So my quality is good. I'm going to call this thing crop 90%. You can see my image size is correct. I'm going to hit download. And then I'm just going to put that in the folder just so I can see. So drag it over. So this was our crop from our Pixlr. So again, 1500 by 1391. So you shouldn't see a size bigger than 1500. That should be the biggest size. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that answers your questions on how to do this.